Hi there, everyone. My name is Leslie Thomas, and I'm the Marketing Manager for the Directorate of Personnel and Family Readiness, also known as DPFR, or affectionately known as DIPFR. Today's Live at 11 is Keeping Connected with Family and Friends During COVID-19. We're going to go over some tools that will help you make and sustain some healthy communications and connections during this time. And if you have questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. Also, we'd love for you to share your best practices and let us know what's helping with you and your family to stay connected through social distancing. So please share with us in the comments below, and feel free to use the hashtag JBLM Sound Living so that we can connect that to a larger group and people can see those things that are working. So service members and family members, we're resilient by nature, right? So we always have to move celebrations and miss events, keep in touch from a distance with our loved ones and our families. This is pretty second nature to us. But you know who it's not easy for is our close friends and family who aren't military affiliated. And sometimes we need to kind of give them an impression of what's working to keep us connected through these difficult times. This is where we shine. And even though it's hard for us, helping our friends and family get connected is going to be a huge benefit to all of us, not just for our social health, but just to make sure that we are finding out things that we didn't know about folks or trying new things. It's so important to be innovative right now, and everybody's got it in them. Like, we're going to talk about some of these folks here in just a few moments. So, as always, just want to make sure that everybody is aware that mention of non-DoD links, organizations, and services do not constitute endorsement, official endorsement on behalf of the Department of Defense, the Army, JBLM, the Air Force, or the Directorate of Personnel and Family Readiness. So we're going to include some fun links today to be able to help you out. But before we get going, actually, let me see, I think we have a comment over here. Sarah is asking, do you know if the JBLM base hotels are still using BAH rate if we're stuck between PCSs? If so, how many days can we use this option? I'll be honest with you, Sarah, I do not know. But we are going to get that answer for you, and we're going to get it back to you not only in a direct message, but we're going to answer you in the comments as well. So let's get started on keeping connected with family and friends. So one of the things that I've used personally that's been very helpful for me is the 5 love languages. And you've probably seen that curriculum either on a chaplain's retreat or through religious services. Maybe you've seen it through family advocacy. Our family advocacy program for DPFR teaches some really amazing classes on 5 love languages. And if you haven't heard of it, what it basically does is kind of break down different ways that people feel love. So the 5 that they have are quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. So what you can do is you can go onto their website, and we're going to get that for you in the comments here. It's 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes. They've got quizzes for singles, couples, children's, and teens. So the reason that I bring that up is because when we're making those authentic connections, one of the things to make sure of is that you're speaking to that person in their love language, or they're speaking to you in your love language. Just to let you know, when I first started checking out love languages, my husband and I took these assessments together. We were on a retreat. It was in Garmisch. It was beautiful. I understand if you're a little bit jealous, you should go. It's great. We took the assessments, and I thought that he would be like way up there on one, and he ended up having way up there on another. So learning his love language helped us be able to communicate. Can you imagine how much more difficult that is if you can't be next to that person? I know you can, because you're experiencing it right now. So if you wanted to try that, you could go ahead and take a look, see what the 5 love languages is about, and maybe use that and have your friends and family take it so that you can find out what's most important to them when it comes to staying connected and how they feel loved, appreciated, and seen. So that's just one thing that you could do. You can take those love language classes online. We're getting ready to do some soon with our family advocacy program, and that's going to be at JBLMFamilyAdvocacy.timetap.com, and you can register for them there. So connecting on a deeper level. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a hugger. I love to hug people. I love to shake hands. This is a really hard time for me. So I've got a lot of people that are checking in on me on my network, But I'm also making a very sincere effort to check in on the non-huggers, because just because somebody doesn't want to physically embrace someone or shake hands doesn't mean that they're not having a difficult time right now too. So do keep those introverts in mind. There are different ways, though, that you can keep connected with folks and not necessarily have physical contact. So you've heard a lot of these already before. Spending time by watching movies or your favorite shows through video chat, or you can utilize the watch party options in popular apps like Netflix, where even if it pauses, it's going to pause for everybody and pick back up. I know that Curie talked about that a few weeks ago in the one to talk about what to do on and around the installation. Start with your youngest and oldest members of the family when you're reaching out. The youngest ones, this is confusing. This is confusing for all of us, but I'm sure that you can imagine it's much more confusing for kids. So we want to make sure that we're having those healthy conversations with our kids, and we actually have a class for that you're going to hear me say that a lot, we have a class for that. We always have a class for that, or a one-on-one service to be able to support you. And that's also at the JBLM familyadvocacy.timetab.com. But there's a session of classes. One of them is Real Talk, communicating with your kids during COVID-19 about COVID-19. And so you can always look into different resources for that. Creating new ways to interact with your friends and family can be a challenge, but you know, one of the best resources if you have children is literally your children. They love to create. They're innovative, they're flexible, they love to try new things. Ask your kids for ideas. You're gonna get a lot of the same stuff from a lot of adults. Realistically, everybody's told you to read books. Everybody's told you it's time for video games. You've probably gone through your whole collection. But ask the kids, because they might see things that you haven't seen before. If you don't have children, ask kids in your family, maybe a niece and nephew, or maybe a grandchild. They might have an understanding of a tech or app or a different way to keep in contact, or they might just come up with something totally fun to do. You never know. So give it a shot. Just go ahead and include your kids on that planning. Some of the things kids have been able to do in the past are write stories and read them to their grandparents over FaceTime, or make art and post it all around and host a virtual gallery. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Also, let's talk about the fact that everything is electronic. And a lot of the things that you're asking right now or that you're seeing are gonna be go to social media, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go to all of these different services and programs, and they're all online. But I don't know about you, I do marketing and I get social media fatigue, right? So you probably have a little bit of stress checking the news or Facebook or something regularly, and you're seeing all of this information and it's overwhelming. Take a break. Take a break. When I get home, that's the first thing that I do. I put my phone down. I don't take a break. I mean, I do take a break. Oh, could you imagine if I didn't take a break? Are you guys taking breaks? I hope you're taking breaks, because it's really important. Think of social media. There's a man named Dr. Sullivan, and he works with Cleveland Clinic, which is a very important and prestigious clinic here in the States. They compare social media to a disastrous, unorganized closet, right? So right now, everybody is shoving things in the closet. So what you have to do, if you've had your fill and you're just done, go to the closet, get what you need, get out of the closet. We'll worry about cleaning it up later. So just go to get the minimals. If that's a news update, if that's to just check in and see how your grandparents are doing, no matter what it is, just make sure you get what you need, get moving on. You're gonna be just fine, I promise. But if you're feeling super teched out and you want to do something to stay connected, go old school. It's the best advice that I can give you. If you're over 40 years old, and I'm telling my age right now, when was the last time you wrote a handwritten letter to somebody that you care about? Now, I've written a note and maybe put my name in a card and gotten it off in the mail, but I haven't necessarily written a letter. It's been a long time since I've written a letter. So that's one of the things that's on my to-do list this week, is to write a handwritten letter to somebody that I care about. Also, send postcards. Do you remember getting postcards? If you're younger, you probably don't, but it's very exciting to get a postcard. So go and grab some. Send a couple postcards out to folks that you know. Get crafty, make greeting cards. You don't need anything more than a few pieces of paper and some markers or crayons or construction paper. You can do any of those things and put it all together and make cards and then send those out to folks. Or leave them in spaces, or drop them in your neighbor's mailbox to say, hi, how are you doing? I'm just checking on you, making sure that everything is okay through this time. It's those little acts of kindness that go a long way, and it can go a long way in making sure that you come out of this more resilient in the end. So do consider those things. Now, if you're like me and you've read every book on your shelf for the second time, consider starting a virtual book club, right? So there's a link we're going to throw up for you that talks about 10 virtual book clubs that you can join and how to start your own. So if you don't like the typical book club fare, if you're not into the romance novels or the thoughtful ones, and you're a little bit more into the horror authors like I am, if you're a Stephen King fan or something like that, then start a book club with your own interests. Or if there's a professional development book club that you could have, whatever you're interested in, you can start a book club for it. And there's really great instructions at that link. So do feel free to be continuing to check that out. If you're out of books to read, then we have an amazing resource that's free and right at our fingertips, and that's the MWR Libraries. They have ebooks, e-audiobooks, movies, magazines. You would not believe the amount of things that they have there. So if you go and check it out, I think that you're going to be pretty impressed with the selection. So the thing about it is the way that they usually do it, you go into the libraries and they put you on a full-time, well, the libraries are closed right now. But that doesn't mean that they've stopped serving us. So if you'd like to access the resources but don't have an account, then they can make a temporary virtual account for you, and then that account is going to be good through the current COVID-19 crisis, and it'll be available to service members, dependents, retirees, and civilian employees. And once they've returned to normal operations, then you can visit the nearest MWR library and they can convert that to full-time. So we're going to put in the comments a way to contact them. You can either go through their page through Facebook Messenger, or you can give them an email that we're putting in the comments there below. Let me just double check to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, good. I'm caught up so far. All right. So a couple more things that you can do to kind of keep connected rather than just do your typical Skype, Zoom. I could list them all, but there's tons and tons of choices to be able to stay connected through video chats, Facebook, Messenger, which actually they're getting ready to start some new things where you can have up to 50 people in one chat room at a time. There's FaceTime and different programs that you have. It's honestly just a matter of preference. There's no one right way to do that. But you can only FaceTime or Google so many times, and then you're like, okay, I need something a little bit more. So think about all those times where you've thought, oh gosh, I could really use a vacation. Take a virtual vacation. This is the perfect time to do that. So there are a couple different ones that are available. If you haven't heard of stayatHomeFest.com, it's pretty cool. You can attend a virtual concert or festival. A lot of artists are moving their performances, and some festivals are moving to online services. And so you can still participate in those, and you can attend with friends. And I know it doesn't seem like it's kind of similar, but it really is. You can get caught up in that music and really see everything that's going on, and they're also providing opportunities to engage directly with the artists. So it's definitely something cool to check out. But here's my favorite thing, and I don't think a lot of people know about this. If you use Google Maps, you might think of Google Maps as a great way to go if you need to get from point A to point B, but Google Maps is so much more. I had no idea until recently how many virtual field trips and fantastic things that they've got. So the other night, my daughter and I went on a field trip, right? We went through a street art tour. And so if you go, and there's a link that's going to come right up on this, but you can go through and get an audio tour of street art, and it's incredible. There's also guided virtual tours of U.S. national parks. And we pulled that up just recently, and it's breathtaking. It's absolutely amazing. For the nature lover in you, you should absolutely check that out. And then if you're just tired of everything and you just want to look at cats, there's a page for that too. There sure is. I Know Where Your Cat Lives is an area where you can literally load random pictures of cats. My daughter and I are watching that tonight for sure. We're going to watch the cats. I do want to put in actually two more plugs for things. One is there's a really cool thing happening right now, and I don't know how many people know about it. They're definitely marketing it, and I can't recommend it enough. I know they're going to talk about it tomorrow. If you are not playing MWR's Trivia on Thursday nights, you gotta start. It's a blast. We had so much fun. So you download the Kahoot app, go to JBLMMWR.com to check it out, but it's every Thursday night, and I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. So that's another thing that you can do as a family, or you can do virtually by phone. You can get your team together and be working it through your friends and family and maybe split a really cool prize. You never know. Really, that's about all I've got for today. Was there any questions, or does anybody want to share some great best practices? We are all ears to hear what's going on. Let's see. Oh, Lily has attended live sessions from musicians and DJs. It was really cool and great to do while making dinner. I concur. We do a lot of music when it comes to dinner time, and we dance around the kitchen and goof off and have a blast. So that's one of my favorite things to do, and we've been able to do some of that with the live streaming concerts as well. So thanks, Lily. Is there anything else? I'm not really seeing much. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap for now, but please do keep it coming in the comments. If you've got questions, we're going to answer them. I'm going to get back to you, Sarah. And then if you have best practices to share, just make sure that you're putting them down in the comments and tagging them with hashtag JBLM Sound Living so that we can make sure that that information is good information and getting all through our community and helping everybody out. But once again, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. The last thing that I'd like to say is that this afternoon we're going to put up a video that was recorded by Family Advocacy and the Military Police on Post, and it's a very important video. This isn't necessarily related to the subject that we're talking about right now, but I'd really like for you guys to take a look at it. So in about 10 minutes, do me a favor and check back with our page and look for the video. You'll see Kristen, who is our FAP supervisor, her counterpart over at Madigan, and one of our MPs talking about an important issue, and that's domestic violence prevention. So if you could take a moment to do that, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. We're your community partner. We're your community navigator. We're here to help you, and we're here to help take care of you and your families. If there's anything that you need, please feel free to give us a call at 253-967-7166, or you could always just send us a message here on Facebook. And do follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.